Well, welcome to the June update from the University of Queensland Gatton Dairy. As you can see, we're bringing it you this month from the milking shed. We thought it might be a nice insight for you to see how we operate indoors. Okay, so let's get into it. We still have the split herd situation, albeit different for June, because we're mating, and so we decided to keep the mating group as a single group rather than have them spread throughout the two groups. I felt it made management easier for the staff. And the cows, obviously, we're looking for as high a percentage in calf as we can get. So that was a decision that we made. So right at the end of June, we split the cows back out again with today's in milk. So the current figures are 103 in herd 1. They're doing around about, well, nearly 30 litres, 29.7 litres. And herd 2's got 65 cows in it, and they're doing 20.8 litres. Now, the diet figures I'm going to give you are when we were actually feeding the herds the same diet. Again, like I say, because we were mating, we wanted to make sure that they had the highest inputs going into them as we could get. We were targeting 23.1 kilos dry matter in herd 1 and 22.1 in herd 2. This difference is between the ryegrass and the kikuyu grass. We felt the intake on the kikuyu grass was less with the second cows, and that's reflected in their yields. The main forages are still corn, sorghum and luzerne, and wheat and barley mix, and soybean and canola meal as our protein, and the usual ½ kilo per head of minerals. These give us feed conversion efficiencies in herd 2 of 0.94 and 1.29 in herd 1. But a true FCE of $3.25 in herd 1 and $2.69 in herd 2, which is pretty good, we think. Cell count remains down at 178 for the month. So once again, we've come up for the 2.5 cents a litre bonus for our cell count. Fat and protein are a little bit down. I think I'll put this down to the ryegrass mainly because as you can imagine, it absolutely leapt out of the ground in June, and so the fibre content dropped, and this caused a drop in the fibre content of the whole diet, as we saw in more liquid faeces, which we counteracted with half a kilo a head of barley straw, and we're hoping to see some improvement fairly shortly. Last month, you remember me saying that we'd undersown some of the kike with oats. We've had a bit of an issue with this. The root system, for some unknown reason, doesn't seem to have penetrated deeply, and we're worried that the cows are going to be pulling the plants out. So what we've decided to do is harvest it. We're going to cut it and wrap it in big bales. Planting, in the last month, we've planted 9.5 hectares or 23.25 acres for those in old money of luzerne. We feel that luzerne's probably one of the best crops we can grow here. It's a great feed for the cows, and so we've actually increased the amount of luzerne on the ground. And we've done 9 hectares of brassica. This is for that fill-in when the ryegrass cuts off before the kike really kicks in for in the spring. We've had a couple of cases of toxic mastitis just recently. The weather's been really dry. We're not sure where this is coming from, so we're looking into it. And we've had a couple of cases of cows going down with what we think is phosphorus deficiency, and their titers were low, and counteracting phosphorus deficiency is quite difficult. It has to be done through the diet. So yeah, we're looking into that at the moment. Okay, well that's all from me. I'll see you next month.